Good day, friends. Another word of gourd. A little brief, but I think fairly important addition to our recent video on health and cures and self-healing. Just a few points I'd like to make in that context that I sort of skipped over the first time. But first of all, I'd like to read you a response communication from someone who regularly contributes comments to my video content. This person said in a written statement, "I had CV last month. I thanked it sincerely for the opportunity it afforded me to reflect and grow, but I kindly requested it to leave my body so I could carry on with my soul plan. It duly obliged, and I felt perfectly well throughout." Thank you for that. And I imagine you'd like to remain anonymous, but so I won't say, sir or madam. But yes, thank you very much for that. And if any others of you have similar experiences, we'd love to hear about them. Self-healing is quite remarkable. There's a lot you can do. If you feel strong and focused and, I guess, determined. There are a number of tales I could tell from my distance healing days and talking to other practitioners about practitioners and or clients who wind up talking to cancer tumors and getting responses, I might add. One of them is one of the repeated responses I've heard from a number of sources. The tumor will say, "You can't get rid of me. I've every right to be here." I think they mean that metaphysically. But that doesn't mean you can't talk them out of it. But just to give you a notion that they are, on some level, a sentient being with focus and purpose and willpower. And they may settle for an extended period of time. And they may do what they are, shall we say, programmed to do. But that does not mean that you are helpless. You have as much free will as they do, and every right to rid your body of them. Now, it's everyone has their personal choices in the matter, and many outcomes are possible, as you all know. But I just wanted to remind you of that. Something I didn't think of the last time. Also, this self-healing energy, the light of the light of love and understanding that you can download from the universe, just as an act of willpower. You don't have to be a loving, all-embracing saint of a person to do this. You just have to be knowledgeable and focused and determined. Although, certainly being a loving, embracing being is a great help in these matters, but it's not absolutely necessary. And this is related to what I've spoken to, maybe not so much on videos, but to many clients over the years, transmutation. There's always been, at least since I was a young man, a lot of talk, and I see it comes up in movies. I see it come up in the movie August Osage County at a family dinner where everyone's gobbling up the turkey or something, and there's one young woman who won't eat the meat and talks about the amount of fear that is either biochemically or energetically within the meat, because the animals are terrified when they get slaughtered. And as I say, I've been here. It just reminded me, I was watching the movie recently, and I've been hearing this from vegetarians and vegans and assorted alternate diet type people for decades. And my response would be that as powerful spiritual beings who are often unaware of their powers, you can transmute the energies of fear that you may believe are in meat and fish and whatever by just raising them in a very similar way to the self-healing meditation that I gave. You focus on where you think that fear is in your system, and you diffuse it with light. You have to image it in some way, allow an image to form, and then you diffuse that image with light, loving light, warm, golden light, however you perceive it. As I've often said in the past, it's not harder than it sounds, it's easier than it sounds. Just be focused and be knowledgeable. On a related point, I would say that many people's experiences, and obviously the well-known experiments of Cleve Baxter, quoted in many books since his initial burst of knowledge about being able to trace what seemed like the vibrations of fear in almost anything. Eggs about to be boiled, for example, and plants, flowers, yada, yada, yada. And recently it's become reasonably well known through several researchers, some of a scientific bent, that trees will communicate to each other often, always, and some of those communications are fearful about potential destruction, forest fires, that sort of thing. But my point will be here that there's not just fear in meat and fish that has been slaughtered. There is a certain trace elements of fear in anything that's yanked out of the ground. Carrots, potatoes, anything. You're ending their physical life and they're afraid. They'll pick up your thought before you actually do it. But I would say it's questionable how much of that goes into the pea pod or the potato skin or whatever. But it's there. And many who have had the vision, and I'm not just including psychedelics here, although they are part of it, I've experienced that. Lots of emotions in plants when one is having taken the sacrament. And not to mention years ago, I know this is much more common and actually quite legal where I live now to grow pot. Years ago, I had the experience of singing to my pot plants and knowing that they liked it. I'd read some Findhorn material at the time, which talks extensively about the communication and the cooperation of fairies and devas and humans and plants. But I'm not just limiting it to those of us that have taken psychedelics a few times. You can see this yourself as a sensitive gardener. But I would have you understand, and on the background of all life is transformed in one way or another, from form to another form, from form to a nutrition, on and on it goes. We all wind up in the stomach of something else, even if it's the soil at the graveyard or the fire in the crematorium, or any number of I signed that form, giving your organs away when you pass. Yes, I signed that one. I kept thinking, and I reassure you that even the organs of an old person can be useful if they're healthy. And I'm certainly getting into that range. So keep that in mind. The fear can be transmuted, can be raised up to a much higher level of vibration where it is no longer fear. And tying in with self-healing and feeling positive about the world and the environment and not being fearful about something from the outside attacking you on the inside. It's all one. Forget that outside-inside stuff. Really, lots of mystics will say that. Lots of New Age teachers will say that. I'm just reminding you. It's all one. Whatever's out there is in here, and the other way around. But your body and all the systems of your body, sometimes referred to as the immune system, can cope with all this and can fight it off. Resist all messages that tell you you can't, that you are weak, and that you are a victim, a target. You're not. You're a sovereign being controlling your own destiny. And with that, my friends, best wishes for this very interesting Christmas, and much positive vibrations coming at us backwards from 2021. I've been hearing it from a number of sources. A year of change and growth, as opposed to a year of stasis and limitation, 2020. I look forward to that change and growth, and I hope you do too. And there's the phone. I wonder what that means. Okay. Thanks, friends. Bye-bye.